I have a guest on the show this hour. He's a development expert. He goes by the name Cletus Ilugo. But I will introduce him, or I'll bring him on the show shortly. But first, let's introduce what we want to talk about. So I did also see in the news bulletin, I think, the 3 o'clock hour, where Rivers people were questioning the rationale behind the fact that, we keep hearing dollar is crashing. We're even told by one of the members of the economic team that was formed by the president some few weeks ago that the dollar may reach 1,000 naira in the coming weeks, in the nearest future. But why are we not seeing the decline in the prices of commodities? Now, these person did say, you can find this story, by the way, I think on the Independent newspaper. He did say that the reason is because a lot of people had purchased goods when the dollar was higher, and so they are still trying to make profits. I don't know. Why are we still buying petrol at the level we're buying petrol at? Why are we still buying tomatoes, which is mostly produced in the farms in Nigeria, at the level we're buying it at? So we're going to understand all of that. And also, why is the dollar crashing? Because we have been told by a lot of economists and development experts that the reason why the dollar skyrocketed at the time was basically because we were not a producing nation. Are we now a producing nation? We would like to find out. I've got, once again, Cletus Ilugo, development expert. Welcome on the show. It's good to have you. It's been a long while you've been on the show. Welcome.
Yeah, good evening, listeners of the show. Good evening. Hello.
All right.
This is our station, Nigeria Info. It's good to be here again.
All right.
I just appreciate the privilege. Thank you very much.
All right. So first question I'm going to throw at you. What is the government, or what has the CBN done, or what is the government doing that is giving good strength to our Naira, giving good muscles to our Naira?
Yeah, thank you very much. CBN did wonderful things. If you are an expert in economics and development matters, one of the things that the CBN applies is adequate measuring and adequate control measures put in place to monitor the inflow and outflow of our foreign exchange. And so, arising from this, the CBN, through her monetary control policy, was able to understand that there were a few manipulations arising from exchange, arising from speculation. Okay, so the CBN was able to control the rate at which money speculators, foreign currency speculators, let me come to this so that our listeners will understand.
Okay.
That what the foreign currency speculators were doing were inimical and detrimental to our economic targeting and growth.
Okay.
That's what the CBN did. So in order to ensure that the hoarded dollars do not have a dangerous effect on the economy, the CBN, through her monetary control programs and policies, was able to nip these speculative tendencies from the speculators and ensure that everything is within the wings and capitals of the CBN. That in itself is giving the dollar a strong boost, a strong exchange power, giving the Naira a strong exchange power against the dollar. So
Mr. Cletus Ilugo, you're saying that Nigerians who live in Nigeria were, intentionally weakening the Naira by hoarding. Is it dollars now? Is it the Naira? What were they hoarding? I don't know. But they were intentional in ensuring that the Naira was weakened. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, Mr. Kalada, I will come from a professional point of view.
Okay.
In commodity broking, I am a commodity broker.
Okay.
In commodity broking, currency is a commodity. Let me establish this premise. In commodity broking, currency is a commodity.
Mm.
And so, under the principle of options and forward and options activities in commodity broking,
okay,
speculators take advantage by standing here, predicting using what we call trend analysis. So, predict the nearest future what the situation will look like.
Okay.
Against this background, they will desire to acquire more of this currency and hold it with the mindset of trying to release it in piecemeal to ensure that they make gain and control the movement and flow of this same commodity to their own advantage at the detriment of the general public. So under the concept of forward and options, please understand, please take a critical study on this.
Yeah.
Forward and options.
Okay.
In commodity broking, that was what speculators were using to carry out their nefarious activities. I use the word nefarious because it's detrimental to the general economy. Nevertheless, it's a business to those people that are involved. That is the way it is done.
All right. Thank you very much. So, basically, speculators were the reason. So, do we categorize the BDCs into these speculators? Do we categorize them there?
No. This thing during the shame. So let's give them the full name so that listeners who are learning from us will also understand what we mean by BDC.
Okay.
During the change institution, a licensed organization.
Okay.
During regulated by CBN. But the challenge is this: some of them can practice commodity broking and instigate or institute auction and forwarding practices in their job.
Okay.
So it is not limited. When we say currency speculators, it is individuals, corporate individuals and personal individuals that get involved in some of these speculative tendencies to make gain. Remember, the bottom line is for profit maximization or profiteering for these individuals and institutions that are involved in forward and options activities in commodity broking. So that's what happens.
Okay.
During the change, some of them, if not properly regulated, can get involved in this.
So the CBN's policy, to sell the dollar to the BDCs at a rate that is even lower than what is sold at the official window, is it also helping reduce speculation, or is it punishing the BDCs in your?
It's part of the regulations that the CBN instituted to make sure that the activities of the security chain are in tandem with the policy targeting of the Central Bank of Nigeria.
Okay.
Remember, the Central Bank is the bank of the government. So the essence of it is that they are trying to create a system, a level playing ground that is much more profitable to these organizations, so that their interest will be in the general development of the nation and not for profit making speculators. That's why that policy was brought in place. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So the aim is to create a mindset in the heart and operations of the Bureau de Change with the ultimate goal of making sure that they contribute meaningfully to the national growth and development of Nigeria. So that's why the CBN is showing that line. Ordinarily, if you allow them to go by way of speculative tendencies, there will be a lot of hoarding, there will be a lot of speculation, and there will be a lot of dangerous effects due to excess inflation.
All right.
Because there will be too much increase in price. As the entire, currency chasing goods available.
Now,
what we have been facing. Kudos to the Central Bank of Nigeria for waking up to do the right thing.
Okay. Now let's come to where you and I are most affected, which is the price or the pricing of commodities in the marketplaces, or the marketplace. You could talk of services as well. Could it also have been as a result of speculation? People just increase their prices, arbitrarily. Is that what it is?
No, it's not speculation. Yeah, especially when prices of goods refuse to come down. It does not only go with speculation. It has to do with the profit mindset of most Nigerians.
Okay.
Let me say this without fear of prejudice. Most of us Nigerians are not patriotic enough in terms of trying to take down the policies of the government and ensuring that the policy gets to the grassroots and take its normal course. That's where the problem is. If not, with the reduction in certain prices of petroleum and other goods, with a reduction or with the dollar, naira against dollar now, we would have seen a tremendous effect in the way of reduction in prices downwards. But that is not happening. People will tell you they bought goods when it was high, and as such they needed to ensure that they sell off, with the same price they bought. That's just a profit maximization mindset. That's very dangerous. Because let me end it so that you come in. Because once there is a little increase at national level, the stock that was bought at a cheaper price will suddenly adjust to meet the new increase for their own gain. And they did not buy that at the new increased price. So why is it jumping? The essence is that there is no adequate in Nigeria price regulatory mechanism put in place to punish offenders in this nefarious profit maximization madness that has gripped us in Nigeria. That's the reason. Thank you.
I would have to pause you for now. We do have a commercial break, but when we do come back, I would take you up on what you just said, talking about the pricing when things go higher and the pricing when things are cheaper. I'll get back to you on that. Just stay tuned.
You are tuned in to
Nigeria Info. We'll be right back after.
We were having just before the commercial. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Hot Facts on 92.3 Nigeria Info, and I am Kaladakoru Batubo. With me via the phone is a development expert, Mr. Cletus Ilugo. Mr. Cletus Ilugo, welcome back.
Thank you very much, listeners, and thank you, everyone.
Now, just before you went in for that commercial break, you were talking about, why is it that when the price of, or when things go up, people are very quick to, change their prices, but when it drops, people are very slow to. Now, when it goes up, for them to be able to restock, they have to sell at higher price, or else they may go back to the market and not be able to afford. Is that not what economists would say? And then, of course, when things drop, because they had purchased it, for a very high price, they may not be able to make a gain if they sell below their purchasing price. I mean, that's what we were taught in secondary school. So, why are you thinking differently?
Yeah, Mr. Kalada, let me quickly put this at this juncture. That when you look at pricing, a pricing mechanism in economics, I'm going to establish an econometric model or economic model to state what I'm talking here.
Okay.
Oftentimes and not, the factors that lead to price increase are very many.
Okay.
Focus among them, especially with Nigerian situation. Let's use Nigeria situation to explain.
Okay.
Oftentimes, it is government pronouncement.
Okay.
And government pronouncements are not in any way beneficial to activity, economic activity.
Okay.
Because most pronouncements are done hastily without adequately analyzing the realities and factors that are factors of production and how they relate to economic realities on ground. And these pronouncements, in any case, keep the productive sector at a very risky position when these pronouncements are made. And so it takes productive sector time to adjust. When it's favorable to them, when there's a sudden increase, they quickly do that to maximize it because they do not know the next pronouncement, what it will, do to their business. That's one side of it.
Okay.
Nevertheless, because of the unreliability associated with this pronouncement, business sector or productive sector are very reluctant to adjust when the situations are not favorable to them, given the fact that the stability that is so desired in the market space, which is what we call the forces of demand and supply, are not having an interplay in determining the economic activities of our country. This is why that reluctance exists. And so when there is a favorable situation to the productive sector, they quickly maximize it and keep themselves at that level to cushion the effect of the long-term negativity that the economic realities have had on them. So that's what we're having in Nigeria.
Can I ask? Sorry.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question like a layman that I am when it comes to economics? Are you saying that now that the dollar has gone down the way it has, that people who are out there can sell their goods for cheaper prices and not be at a loss? Is that what you're saying?
Ordinarily, in a system where the forces of demand and supply are the controlling agents, controlling factors, determining the reduction in dollar, the weakening of dollar, and not arising from government control, prices ought to have followed suit in coming down. But because the coming down is not predicated on production, it's not predicated on the forces of demand and supply, it is arising from government control. If the price of goods are moving in that same direction, chances are that it will not be stable enough to sustain production. That is why there is reluctance in reducing the prices in accordance or in regard to the decrease in the dollar rate. If that was predicated on production, that is, when we mean predicated on production, we mean that if we look at our productive sector, we can see an increase that is giving that decrease in dollar rate, then we can stand at that point and measure our position and our growth rate and say with all certainty, if we continue in this direction, we will really achieve this. But because that is not the situation, what we are having now is a fiat. It is a control measured by a regulatory body, which in any case may not 100% be stable for a long time.
Okay.
So it is in the short-run operation that we're having this. If we can see this in the long run, let's say a period of 1 year, it is like this. We can, to some extent, begin to determine the price regime of our goods and services in the country and use it to measure economically where we are going, whether we're on the right direction or a wrong direction.
So
that's where we are now.
So because last week I saw a report, Ajuri Ngelale, who is the media aide to the president, saying that by next year, at most the end of the first quarter of 2025, the reduction of the dollar to the naira, or the strengthening of the naira, will begin to reflect on prices. So are you saying it will take that long before Nigerians will begin to feel the impact of a strengthened naira?
It may take or not. But let me say this. Let me give a practical example that you and I are witnesses to.
Okay.
Number one, look at the price of airfare from Nigeria to London before the local appearance of airpeace into the forest.
Okay.
What happened? Ordinary a normal class after 4 million. The rest of them. But when airpeace came, there was a price crash.
Yeah.
The price crash will continue. What you are having now is a price war. But let me say this. If the imported aviation fuel are locally sourced, you find out that there will be further reduction because the sources of fuel are indigenous.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, it's capable of sustaining our productive sector, which is what we are talking about. In the aviation sector, we are having a positive reduction because there is a local appearance and there is the entrance of Dangote refinery and possibly Port Harcourt refinery coming in. So if in every sector we have sectoral input from Nigerian economy, it will lead to reduction, weakening of the dollar and empowering naira against dollar. That in itself will lead to further price reduction across all sectors of the economy.
Okay.
That is productive reduction, and that is advantageous to our economy and can enable us to do what we call growth and development targeting as far as Nigeria economy is concerned.
Now you've said this. You've said, okay, you started by saying what the CBN and the government did was a good thing, which was to tackle speculators. However, now you're telling us that we still have to predicate our economy on production, and that is when the actual and the main reduction or strengthening of our naira will take place. So, from what I understand, what I've gleaned from our conversation, you're saying that yes, it's a good thing that the government has tackled speculators, but we'll still have to tackle the lack of production for us to be able to feel.
Definitely.
Okay. All right. So now the next question then. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
When we tackle regulatory policies and programs, which the government is doing well, and we encourage local production, the naira will be empowered against dollar, and then there will be job creation. There will be what we call internal flow of income, leading to growth, leading to reduction in poverty, and leading towards the total well-being of the people. And then that will arise to our national, it will fall into a positive and robust national income. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Because the income, the productive sector is active, and there is a high disposable income in the hands of Nigerians to purchase goods and services available within the Nigerian market.
Okay.
That in itself will lead to a self-sustaining economy that can enable us begin to say Nigeria is on the growth and development pathway.
Now, as a development expert, looking at Nigeria's economy, can we say our production is being upped? Are we upping the ante as it relates to local production? I'm asking because for us to be able to sustain.
I want to say this critically.
Okay.
Like you always know, I am not a politician and I don't intend to.
Yeah.
But I think if the 36 state governors
Okay.
take up their local economy and then, look at a sector where they have comparative advantage and possibly invest in those areas, there's going to be a high-level sectoral growth and development within those states, which will accumulate into national growth. But for that matter, if we empower agriculture in Nigeria and we produce food that we eat for local consumption and for industrial purposes, and Naira will be empowered against dollar. And there will be higher raw material for even export. Okay, so when we also produce, taking into cognizance foreign speculation or foreign standardization into our mindset in our productive sector, we will stand a chance of turning foreign currency into our economy.
Right.
And then the economy will be robust enough to empower our exchange. And then Naira will be empowered against dollar.
Okay.
So there is need for us to critically empower agriculture. And not just agriculture value chain or agribusiness needs to be strengthened from production to processing to marketing and to delivery. That's agribusiness or agriculture value chain. It needs to be strengthened. And then that employment will be created, security will be enhanced, and Nigeria will be better for us.
All right. I've just looked at the clock. I've just checked the clock, and my time is almost up because there's a commercial coming up. But I want to throw this question at you. Inflation is currently 33.2%, and of course, the layman definition of inflation is the price of goods and services in society. How do we tackle inflation, given our economic circumstances? How do we tackle inflation?
Simple. To tackle inflation, increase production.
Okay.
Increase the production.
Okay.
And reduce your penchant, reduce your desire for foreign imported goods.
Okay.
Everybody should encourage, or everybody should look at what we call make local taste and preference on watchword.
All right then.
Eat Nigerian made goods, eat Nigerian made food, wear Nigerian made clothes, drive Nigerian made cars. Our productive sector will increase, employment will increase, income generation will increase, and our inflation will come down. That's a simple economic.
Right.
It is only that our mindset, we refuse to embrace Nigerian made goods. That's just it.
All right then. All right. Thank you very much, Cletus Ilugo, development expert. It's always a pleasure having you on the show.
Yeah, thank you, listeners on radio. It's always a pleasure being here. Please keep listening to Nigeria Input, a place to learn and contribute to national development. God bless all of us.
All right,
God bless the Republic of Nigeria.
All right, thank you very much. We've had a great conversation, but you and I will dissect what my guest has said, the open season hour. For now, a commercial break, and after that, the major news at 6. So just stay tuned to your number one talk news and sports radio station, 92.3 Nigeria Info.